Assalamu alaikum. It's Friday. We say Jummah Mubarak. Have a wonderful Friday. Blessed. Sometimes I don't like to say the word blessed because to me, I keep thinking of Arabic all the time. Blessed, blessed. You see, this is what happens when Arabic enters your brain. It overwhelms all other languages, which is why today we have to come forward quickly with why I've titled this The Difference Between Banu Israel and Yahud. And I told you Banu Israel is referring to sometimes a tribe specifically, and sometimes a quality of those who are fighting in the cause of Allah. But Yahud is never confusing. It's always bad because it means to swerve away, take a detour from the right path that you knew. Now, I know the subject might be a little bit overwhelming in the beginning because you haven't heard anything even near to what I'll be teaching you. There's some sort of a monopoly on information passed on for a very long time. But now we know Arabic, so we're going to go only, as I said, to the truthful words, Allah's words in the Quran. And today we're going to start with the chapter called Al-Imran. And I'm going to give you two clear verses so that you can distinguish what went wrong. Now, I, as an American, learned about what they call Jews. They had special food, and not all of them really cared to observe the special food rule. They would tell us that only the Orthodox would, and the majority of Jews really didn't care about, even they ate pork. So we're going to start back in the origin of what the special food story was all about. And I want to say right here and now that the Torah was revealed to Musa. And we believe in it in its original form. And then there's something else called the Talmud, and it is another collection of rules and regulations written by rabbis who would be the scholars of the Orthodox Jewish, the more observant types. Now, they weren't really recorded as such in the Quran. The ahbar is a word that was used, ahbar, and from that we could get the word Hebrew, ahbar. However, we don't want to be too exact because ahbar will mention, you can say in a more neutral form, in the Quran, Allah calls upon them to speak up and don't witness wrong, and don't take part in it, and don't be silent. Those are the ahbar that Allah references, and even though it sounds the same, it's not spelled the same, so therefore we have to be careful. But I'm just telling you this so if you hear it anywhere, Hebrew, Habiru, Ahbar, Hibr, offspring of Noah, Iber, Hibr, I just don't want you to get confused. I want you to keep listening to me. And some clarification is going to come to you about Yahud. So let us begin now. Those of you who are doing your own research, that I hope you do. Let's go to Surah Al-An'am. And we will start here with verse 145. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل لا أجد فيما أوحي إلي محرما على طعام يطعمه إلا أن يكون ميتة أو دما مسفوحا أو لحم الخنزير فإنه رجز أو فسقا أهل لغير الله به فمن اضطر غير باغ ولا عاد فإن ربك غفور رحيم. Allah here is denoting, and for purposes of time today, I'm going to translate this for you. You'll find it translated very well in your English Quran. Allah is saying this is what's prohibited for you, and it's to Banu Israel and by default to all of us. It was prohibited that we all do not eat dead flesh or flowing blood, drinking it, or pork meat. Allah says here it's filth, or anything that was slaughtered in dedication to other than Allah. But if you are pressed, sorely pressed, that you must eat to survive, you may, but don't do it again, in other words. Now Allah says in the next verse, verse 146, وَعَلَى الَّذِينَ هَادُوا, and those who are Hadu, this is the Yahud. وَعَلَى الَّذِينَ هَادُوا حَرَمْنَا كُلِّ ذِي ظُفُرٍ وَمِنَ الْبَقْرِ وَالْغَنَمِ حَرَمْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ شُحُومَهُمَا إِلَّا مَا حَمَلَتْ ظُهُورُهُمَا أو الهوايا أو ما اختلط بعظم ذلك جزيناهم ببغيهم وإنا لصادقون. Allah is saying here, as for those who Hadu, reject the limits that we just referred to, Hadu, Yahud, now you're going to have restrictions. And these are the restrictions. And they are listed and translated very well. And I want you to do some work now. You get to your translated Quran and you go to this verse 146. I'll just translate a little because there's something else I want to get onto here. And I want you to participate. You know, I don't like spoon feeding adults. I assume you're all adults. And if you care enough about this subject, and you should, especially if you are Muslim, you want to know the words of Allah in the Quran properly, or if you are Christian and you've wondered, what's going on with all these food restrictions? We don't have this. Or if you are of those who were the descendants, let us say, and be careful here, pay attention to what I'm saying. You were the descendants of the chosen people. If you fought in the path of Allah, or if you prefer to deal in bloodlines of Ibrahim and Yaqub, Jacob, and the Asbat, the tribes. But if you feel that there is goodness in you and you read your Torah, which is the Old Testament, and you seek the truth, you can ponder over these verses, inshallah, in Surah Al-An'am, and you can question about what is the truth. Well, I want to help you out a little bit here. So, I want to tell you this verse. It's on the next page, and it is also Surah Al-An'am. ثُمَّ أَتَيْنَا مُوسَى الْكِتَابَ تَمَامًا عَلَى الَّذِي أَحْسَنَ وتفصيلا لكل شيء وهدى ورحمة لعلهم بلقاء ربهم يؤمنون وهذا كتاب أنزلناه مبارك فاتبعوه واتقوا لعلكم ترحمون. Allah tells us here that then we gave Musa the book complete. Alladhi Ahsan. In this book, it's better than anything else. And it's all goodness. Wa tafsilan li kulli shay. And it mentions everything. Wa hudan wa rahmah. And it is a guidance and a mercy A guidance and a mercy is the same way the Quran is described. At times it's Huda wa Rahmah. At other times the Torah and the Quran are termed Huda wa Rahmah wa Nur. Guidance, mercy, and light. Exact same words. Now, think about that. Exact same Arabic words. We don't quibble about words when they're in Arabic. When Allah says a guidance, Huda, a mercy, Rahmah, and light, Nur. And he uses the words for his books. Ought we not to ponder these books as best we can? And I want to stop here. I want to continue this with another lesson because this is so pertinent. Allah says, I have revealed books. And he mentions them. And he said, you are not studying them. You are not pondering them. You are ghafla. You're negligent to do this. He says it in the Quran. So, unfortunately, the discourse has included some who have said, oh no, they're all distorted. We can't even read these books because they've been messed with, in other words. American expression, it's not very nice, is it? They've been changed. And they neglect. And I already mentioned to you before, the Prophet Muhammad said, do not believe and do not disbelieve regarding the previous scriptures. Take a neutral stance. Don't say, oh no, I can't refer to those books because they've been changed. And then also don't say in truthfulness, for instance, the descendants of Noah were such and such, and naming the tribes, and they were other than what Allah says in the Quran, which we must review next time, because the verses regarding Ibrahim wa Yaqub wal Asbat, they do come in an orderly fashion where they're connected, absolutely. And they're connected in the explanation of Tawheed, how this religion is one, and how Allah has no son. So we take what is certain, and that is what is in Quran. And what is uncertain, we may ponder, but we shouldn't use anything for proofs, for absolute proofs. Absolute proofs are in the Quran and in the Arabic Quran, and it's really not difficult. Shaitan wants you to say, oh, I can never learn Arabic. Oh, it's too hard for me. Let me just stop this lesson with an anecdote. I reverted when I was 38. And Allah put in my path a fantastic Muslim, Sunni, young man, I should say. I was 38, he was probably 25 or so. And he was in Egypt, and he was an imam of a small masjid in Midana Ramses. And his name was Sheikh Ismail, and he was from Ghana. And about a week before I actually converted, some friends brought me to him because he was fluent in English, and in Egypt, not many at that time, my goodness, almost 40 years ago, not many were fluent in English who were religious. And I did convert in the interim of when I had known him and then saw him later, and he kept focusing on, you must learn Arabic. And I said, I can't learn Arabic. Are you crazy? I'm too old. I'm almost 40 years old. I know too many languages. It's enough now. I studied languages and I don't really feel like doing any more. I just want to be a good Muslim and learn how to do that. And he said, you must learn Arabic. And I said, no, I must not. I was very stubborn, and I don't know. I was wrong, but I was a typical American doctora, thinking thinking that I'm going to know more than a sheikh who's memorized Quran and is fluent in English. Anyway, I argued about it, and he insisted again and again and again. And I said, I can't do this. He said, no, you have to read Arabic. Read. Kept following the sunnah. Kept following what was the correct way. Finally, I just said, all right, listen. Why do I have to do this? Because I have the knowledge that there are ulama, scholars. And I'm just going to refer to them because I don't have the time or the inclination to read Arabic or to learn it at my advanced age, which, right before you're 40, you think you're ancient. And I said, and that's going to be enough for me. He said, no, it's not enough. You must read so that no one can lie to you. And I said, the scholars aren't going to lie to me. And he snickered. Now, Sheikh Ismail never laughed. No, he did not. He would always just smile. He was such a subdued person because he followed the sunnah exactly. And he snickered, and he gave a little it's like his shoulders moved. I remember he went, and I said, what do you mean? The shuyukh aren't going to lie to me. And he just snickered. Well, I'm not snickering now because many shuyukh, shall I say lie? No, I don't want to say lie. It hurts me. I would rather say they don't disclose. And they're not clarifying. And Allah has told us we must clarify. Bayyin. Bayyina. It's a great institution. You all know who I mean. What a wonderful name to choose. Al-Bayyina. Yes. And it's also the name of a surah in the Quran. So until next time, we can have some more bayyina, clarification. Inshallah, you have a wonderful, happy Friday, the best day of the week, a Muslim, joyful, holy day. Assalamu alaikum.